You see that?
Uh-huh.
So, from a stake presidency perspective, what would you consider a ward or a branch, a unit, being successful in ministering?
Everything is ministering.
Are you quantifying ministering, like count, like what do you count as, like how would you, how would you give credit to a ward or branch that is ministering well versus are you qualifying ministering to say what is considered ministering?
Everything's ministering.
So it seems that I think the perfect answer is exactly what you said, Michael. What is ministering? Everything that if you're living the gospel and looking to interact with others and serve others, you're ministering. I was going to bring this up last night on our we had a state council meeting, but I was going to bring this up last night. I found a photo of me and two other individuals. It brought up some good memories. I sent that photo to those two other individuals and reminisced on those memories and said, I respect y'all for what you stand for and for how you lead your families. Is that ministering?
Yeah.
Yeah. According to Michael's definition, I took an opportunity to share a positive memory and also acknowledge them in what I have seen them do over several years. That's ministering. That's lifting somebody up. Now, did they need that? I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they were struggling with some self-doubt for some reason, and I was prompted to share that. I don't know. But maybe none of that happened. Either way, I ministered to those individuals. And we are struggling to help people grasp that. You know, to grasp that you don't home teaching. The intent of home teaching was to minister. That was the purpose of home teaching. And so when we talk about ministering, we treat it like it's something separate that we can pick up and say, okay, this is we need to be going and doing this. But if we're living the gospel, we're always ministering to individuals and families and people.
I think the key word you had earlier on was interact. If you're interacting with someone, if you're living the gospel and you interact with another individual, that's ministering. I think what we do on this podcast is
Joseph. That's one.
I think.
How about if I'm not interacting? What if I'm just praying for them?
Oh, that's a good point.
Still ministering.
Yeah.
I would say so wrapped up in home teaching and visiting teaching and a checklist and what counts and what doesn't count, that it's the older generation that's having a hard time grasping ministering because they still want a checklist. They still want you did it or you didn't do it. No, everything is stop overcomplicating it. Stop looking beyond the mark. And when I'm going on a rant. Go ahead, Joe. I interrupted.
No, you're okay. I was just going to briefly say, I think what we do on the podcast is ministering.
Yes, for sure. When I'm having my prayers during sacrament meeting, when the sacrament is being administered, we've had a podcast about this before, Jackson. So during the first prayer, in fact, this was when you interviewed me for the first time. Do you remember that? I was on the podcast for the very first time. We talked about sacrament. So during the blessing, during the passing of the bread, I'm praying to Heavenly Father. During the passing of be it wrong, be it right, I'm just telling you what I do. And I really don't care what you whether people think it's right or wrong, because I'm going to keep doing it. And during the passing of the water, I'm praying to Jesus Christ. And what I'm doing is I'm thanking both of them for who they are and what they represent and what they've established, and for their knowledge, and that they can't be fooled, and how grateful that I am that they know everything. And one of the things I'm very grateful for with Jesus Christ is that he never looked beyond the mark. He didn't give 110%. He didn't give 100. He gave 100%. There's no one that can give 110. There's no such thing as 120%. Right. You give her 100% or you don't. Right. That's it.
Right.
He only did Father's will to the T. He didn't do less. He didn't do more. He didn't add to. He didn't take away. He did exactly Father's will every time with exactness. And when we, sometimes people get in their heads, well, if I'm not calling someone or I'm not talking to them face to face, then that's not really ministering. Says who? Who came up with that? That's looking beyond the mark. Everything is ministering. Everything. And I think that we're struggling with our ministering interviews, at least from doing all these word conferences. The reason we're struggling is the people giving the interviews are trying to say, hey, are you really ministering or not? I don't think you are, because here's your assigned families and you're not talking about them. So I guess I have to say that you're not ministering. No one keeps track of ministering. We only keep track of the interviews. Did you have the interview or not? And if you have a guy or a gal that's not ministering at all, which I don't believe, maybe they're not ministering to the 9 assigned families that you gave them, but they're ministering to someone, right? Then if they're, let's just say that they're not ministering at all, which I don't believe, but let's say that they're not, then your job in the ministering interview is to minister to them. Pray for them, pray with them, see how they're doing. And don't say, hey, is there anything that we can do for you? Everybody's going to say, no, I'm good. Ask them. Listen, I got a brand new mower and I'm itching to try it out. Can I come mow your lawn? No, you're good, man. I got a little lawn. Well, what else you got over there? There's got to be something I can help you with, or maybe you need help with something else.
We had our ward conference, our local ward conference a few weeks ago. And this was talking about, ministering interviews. And I went up and told our Elders Quorum president, I think our Elders Quorum president does a great job, because every quarter I'm getting a call.
Yeah.
Inviting, I'm getting a call from, or contact from the secretary, and they are setting up ministering interview. And we normally do a pretty good job. Me and my son, we normally do a pretty good job of, trying to make ourselves available for a sit down. And without fail, every single time he asks about us, he asks about our family, asks what's going on in our life, so he focuses the interview on us and our family. And then after that, he'll ask about the individuals that we are involved in ministering to. And then, we talk about them a little bit and, determine if there's any needs or anything they can do. And it lasts for maybe 12 minutes. And then we're out of there.
Yeah.
So he does a great job.
And he says that he struggles getting people to go to those ministering interviews. So
I believe he does. I definitely believe he does.
So I would put out there, then do it on the phone. Then send him a text. It doesn't have to be face to face. We're overcomplicating this. Ideally, we want people to come to church, but we broadcast because maybe they can't. Ideally, the brethren would like everyone to come to general conference. There's just not enough room. So we broadcast.
Right.
Ideally, I would love to do every temple recommend face-to-face. I use the phone because I'm in Orlando. And guess what? God gave me that phone. God gave us that technology to further his work. And I'm going to use the technology that God gave to further his work. And I'm telling you, there is not one temple recommend interview that I've done over the phone that I have not felt the Spirit. And one of the biggest reasons that I feel the Spirit is because I always invite whoever I'm doing the recommend to pray. I have them give the prayer. Right. And they bring in the Spirit every time. It's beautiful.
That's cool.
Not as beautiful as you two, but beautiful.
Yeah, I just kind of had that on my mind and wanted to hash that out a little bit. So,
well, there you go.
Yep.
You probably got a lot more than you bargained for.
That's good. It's good stuff.